cameras. Hello, hackers! Okay, we're live. Just 10 minutes late. I blame it all on technology. Actually, you can probably blame this entire class on technology in general because before technology, is this true? Before technology, there was no cybersecurity. There was a dude in the 1700s, who was one of the first hackers, locksmith, who would install locks and then for rich clients, and then come back in the evening and break into his own locks and rob the clients. So in some sense, it's like the first back door or something. Anyways, I guess locks are kind of technology. All right, so welcome back.
They're saying the audio is terrible.
No, what do you mean audio is terrible? The audio can't be terrible. Hold on, how terrible? I am using my webcam mic, but my webcam mic is awesome.
Hit edit on that.
No.
Hit edit.
Yeah.
Switch to a different device and then switch back.
Switch to different. You're full of jokes. Testing.
It's definitely peaking.
Yeah, it's definitely peaking. But we can do this. Is it blowing out? Is the audio blowing out? Yeah. How's that? Well, yeah, but they have to wait a couple seconds for it to. What? It is in the yellow. Which one is yellow?
Just switch to your laptop mic instead.
No.
It might be better. I don't know.
And the 360?
They're saying it's terrible.
All right, now we're unmuted. Test. How's that? Is that better audio?
Someone said good.
Good?
They're saying perfect.
Perfect. Okay, look at that. Lenovo comes through.
It says a little low.
A little low. All right, let's up it up. All right, how's that? Okay, let's click on Pwn.college so I can also follow the stream.
Perfect. Everyone's saying perfect. All right, now good.
Okay, I accidentally started the mod view. Fuck. Okay, whatever. All right, awesome. Welcome back to 365. Who here is amped up on Linux? All right, we got one person, two. All right, a couple of people. That's good. That's what we like to see. Let's dive in to the vortex. Boom. Pwn.college. We'll pull up 365. Okay, that was depressingly a long load time. Hopefully that's the dojo crashing and not the internet. All right. So, a couple of things to kind of catch everyone up. This course has 4 sections in it. They're all co-taught by Professor Connor and Professor Jan. They are all being treated as one big section. So all of you fresh faces from Wednesday should already be familiar with us from the Monday lecture. Who here has seen the Monday lecture? All right, a couple of people didn't raise their hands. So you're responsible for catching up asynchronously or synchronously with the Monday lecture and the Wednesday lecture. So if you haven't seen the Monday lecture, then you probably might be behind in other ways. I strongly suggest that you catch up ASAP. Cool. All right. So I'll leave that to you, or should we're not going to go through the syllabus again, right? Yeah. All right. Monday was all about the syllabus, the structure of the class. First 2 assignments that were already live on Monday and that are due next Monday. Due Sunday at 11:59. And today, we're going to skip all of this. We already did our first meme review. We do meme reviews every Monday from the Discord. We already have 6 people in meme jail, which is pretty exciting. So raise your hand if you want to confess that you're in meme jail. All right, no one is fessing up. It's good. We might have a jailbreak out of meme jail at some point. All right. So let's roll. Okay. First things first, kind of state of the class. Connor, actually, do you want to do this one? You generated this data.
All right.
Here.
Yes. No, I don't need that.
You don't need that? All right.
Okay. Here we go. This mic following thing is a disaster. Okay. Okay, so who here has already solved at least one challenge on Pwn.college? All right, more than half the room. If you have not raised your hand, it's not the end of the world, but you are behind. Okay, so your grade's not impacted yet, but we strongly encourage you to start as soon as possible. Currently, there are 2 assignments live. There is the Linux Luminarium, which is going to get you a brief introduction to Linux command line stuff. There's Talking Web, which is going to be a brief introduction to what HTTP requests look like and how to send them. These are both due this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. If you're wondering what your fellow class looks like, this is it. So 200 plus of you have not yet registered on Pwn.college. There's like 1,070 of you or something like that. 200 of you have not yet registered. Your grade's not impacted, but you are behind relative to the class. I highly encourage you to start today. As you can see, most people haven't started on Talking Web. I would encourage you to start on Linux Luminarium first. Highly encourage that. Technically, they're not dependent on each other, but most people are working on Linux Luminarium first. I would encourage it as well, and roll with that. Okay. Does anyone have any logistical questions about the assignments? Not on the content of the challenges, but logistical questions about how assignments work in this class or anything like that? No questions. Everyone understands. I guess I can't see the Twitch. Oh, there's a Twitch chat right here. Okay, we're good there too. Okay, sweet. So everyone understands. And if you're confused, look at the syllabus and then message on the Discord. All right, Jan, do you want to continue?
Sweet. Absolutely. Boom. Nope. Capturing the webcam. Come on. Oh. Connor, you have to hide.
Look at the Twitch stream to see why we're doing this insane dance.
Sorry, yeah, there's a webcam that's following Connor. Whatever, Connor, you're on camera. All right, so, no, wait, I'm on camera now. No, what are you doing?
Here you go.
All right, great. We keep stressing start early for multiple reasons. One is these assignments are tough. These two aren't meant to be tough. Future assignments in the course are meant to be tough and very educational. These are meant to be extremely hand-holdy and very educational, and they still can take on the order of multiple hours for people depending on their Linux familiarity. So someone that is fairly familiar with Linux already coming into the course probably can rush through Linux Luminarium in an hour. Someone less familiar could take 10, right? You won't know which category you fall into necessarily until you actually tackle this. And if you tackle it on the very last minute, as everyone is rushing into the server trying to get their solves in, the server will melt down. So we've been stressing very heavily to start early, et cetera, which luckily people did after Monday. So they streamed early into the server, and the server melted down, and we were shocked Pikachu. So anyways, the nice thing about the server melting down early is people impacted by that can then go and when the server comes back up, they can do it. If the server's up, we had maybe, I don't know, a couple hours of downtime. We figured out what happened. That's fixed. Go do the challenges early. All right. Now, we dive in? Mm-hmm. All right. So first, we want to showcase a couple things that kind of keep coming up. For those that aren't aware, the structure of the course is most of our lecture material will be pre-recorded starting from next week. These sessions are going to be kind of discussions, diving into specific topics that are coming up, and so on for people that have questions. So right now we're going to dive into the dojo itself. We're going to go Pwn.college. Yeah, that would have been smart. Spinning circle of death. Okay, switch back to this scene. Let's reselect the monitor and maybe it'll restart that. All right, we're back to the vortex here, the tunnel. Should be good. Okay, we're back. Lesson learned, we'll use a real operating system for streaming. Of course, Linux is the one true correct operating system, but all right, anyways. For those that aren't aware of where the homework is, this is problematic this far into the semester, but if you scroll all the way down on Pwn.college, there's the dojo for the class. Boom. The assignments that are live currently are down farther, these 2 modules. They are all due. So if this was my actual student account, these are all due on Sunday night. I would be roughly scoring halfway through Talking Web and 0% through Linux Luminarium. All right. So if you are interested in how to use this freaking platform to begin with, we have a whole set of materials on getting you started. You can click through using the dojo, and complete the 8 challenges or so here, and then you'll be a pro at using the dojo. If you wanted to point out a couple of other things, one is if some people find it annoying to start a challenge, right? Wait for the challenge to start. Not much we can do about that. The load on the server is pretty high. We're doing some things to fix that. All right, so the challenge starts. We launch up a GUI desktop in the browser. That starts up. All right, and then I start up a terminal. This challenge, the very first challenge, it solves itself. I just run a terminal. And then I actually started in the wrong way. This one is supposed to test me using the VS Code workspace. That's cool. Start this up. Awesome. And then I start up a terminal here. And once again, the challenge solves itself and gives me the flag. All right, I take this flag, I copy it, I go back to the form, I paste the flag, I hit submit. In this case, I already solved it, but all this takes some time. I go click down to the next one, hit start again. Some people get annoyed at that, want to be able to just do it straight from this window. One thing that is undocumented anywhere, and we should make documented, if you click on this little flag icon, there's a really cool spot here. You can read the description. You can put in the flag right here. You can hit submit. It'll say, I already solved this. And then, wait, how do I go to the next one from here? Oh yeah, and then I can go on to the next level, just clicking here, and it'll automatically do it. So you don't have to navigate as much through the dojo website. It's you sit on one window and you do everything you need to do. As we can see, the dojo's under some load right now. So that demo kind of failed actually. What happened there? Can we look at logs? Anyways, I click it again, it'll work. There we go. And I go back, boom, and now I'm in the new challenge. Okay, awesome. So that's a fast way to interact with things.
Got a question?
Yes.
Is there a variant available of that for like the SSH environment, or is that?
Yes, for the SSH environment, let's go on to SSH now. So boom, we're here SSHing. If you want to SSH rather than use the web interface, you can absolutely do that. let me zoom out a little bit so that the icons come back. Okay, perfect. So if you want to set up SSH, their directions are over here in the Getting Started Dojo. In the Connecting under SSH, I can make a new SSH key by running this magical command. Boom, it generated a new SSH key for me. It has been saved in key.pub. That's my public SSH key. I copy that. This is the SSH key is a cryptographic token, for lack of a better term at the moment, that SSH uses to authenticate itself, to authenticate you to the Pwn.college server. I go to settings over here with the gears. I click on SSH key. I paste in an SSH key here. I hit add. Boom, public key has been updated. You can refresh and you can see now multiple SSH keys. I don't know whose the other one is, presumably Connor's. Now, whenever I start a challenge, which I just did with whatever I just started, I can SSH to hacker@Pwn.college and use my key. There's two key files, key.pub and key. This is the private version. I upload the public version. I hit enter. I wait and it tells me no running challenge. That's not true. I just started one. All right, let's go back to the dojo and start one.
You don't have an SSH config?
Hmm?
You don't have an SSH config?
That overrides the key? I shouldn't, but we'll figure out. Is it dash lowercase I or dash capital I? Am I? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I am. I have started challenge. Okay. This thing exists. It is correct. It was just generated. Okay. We're going to try to get away from any SSH config by becoming root. All right, see, all fresh. Looks perfect. All right, I must have a custom SSH config locally that messed things up. All right, so here we go. I've connected up. So to clarify, I did my SSH key generation and I SSH'd in. You can use SSH client of your choice. And now I am inside the challenge. I can run it or whatever the challenge wants me to do. And in this case, it wants me to run it in the GUI desktop. And obviously, I'm not running it in the GUI desktop. But let's look at, I don't know, one level of the Linux Luminarium as a freebie, this Hello Hackers level. And you can see something interesting. I'm here on one level. I click Start while connected to SSH. And it waits until the challenge is loaded and then drops me directly into the shell of the next challenge that I started without me having to reload. Boom. So I can speedrun challenges this way.
I remember I've been using the SSH. You're able to like cat out the instructions. I think it's like a README file.
Yeah, there's usually challenge/description over here. There's the same as this description right there, just the raw markdown. But I would recommend approaching the description like reading it on the website. It's marked down for a reason. Okay. This one, level 1, we just need to invoke the hello command. So I'm just going to show it out. Hello. It gives me a flag. Don't copy and submit this flag. Pointless academic integrity violation. Get your own flag. It'll be unique. I submit the flag. It tells me correct. I start the next one. And SSH gets refreshed with the next challenge, and I can keep going. So SSHing in is a great way to interact with these challenges with slightly less kind of annoying stuff than going through the website, at least until you start needing some of the tools that are installed on our desktop. All right, questions on that? Sweet. Oh, yes. Okay, question was will this be recorded? Yes. So for those that missed the Monday lecture, please go back and review it. Also, for those that didn't read the syllabus where we say everything is recorded, you can catch up on everything, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Please go back through and read the syllabus because you are already, as Connor said, a little behind. So every lecture is recorded, and every lecture becomes available on Twitch, and then we archive it to YouTube where you can continue watching it. Cool. All right, what did we forget from the initial spiel?
Is anyone confused about anything with this platform? Everyone's good. Blank stares. We're good.
Okay, awesome. So, now we figured today we're going to dive into a couple of kind of common issues that we have seen people running into conceptually around the Linux command line. Do you want to do like a intro philosophical dive, or do you want me to do it? All right. Let me start this thing, watching me again. There we go. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because it was not. All right, sweet. So there's a question, can you do this using Windows PowerShell? The answer is no. This is a Linux-based course. There are Windows challenges on Pwn.college that might be currently broken temporarily. But no, Windows PowerShell, I guess there's a PowerShell distribution for Linux now. We could have a dojo on that.
SSH from Windows PowerShell.
Oh, I see. That might have been the question. Yeah, you can SSH from Windows into the dojo. That's perfectly fine. But in the dojo, you're going to be running Linux. All right, awesome. Yeah, that was a question. Yeah, absolutely. I don't have a Windows machine to show that, but we could. No, we're not going to switch over to this right now. Anyways, there's a Windows machine right next to me here, but it was hard enough getting all this set up. All right, so questions that we got a lot are, what is Linux? What's a command line? What's a command? What's an argument? I'll add maybe what's a computer? These are good philosophical questions. The reality of us receiving these questions is why the first assignment assigned immediately on the first day of ASU's semester is the Linux Luminarium. All right, so we're going to dive into this right now. And I've realized from the amount of questions that we actually need a pre-recorded lecture series. We have been conceptualizing the Linux Luminarium really as a high-level review of something that you would have picked up by now in your CS career, but that isn't always the case for everybody. And so we'll actually, over the next couple of days, also launch some pre-recordeds to kind of cover these concepts. But in the beginning, computers were interacted with using like toggles and light bulbs. Right? You set little switches to set ones and zeros in the computer, and then like little bulbs light up, and we're talking about the very, very, very early days. Then we moved on to interacting with computers by programming in what they should be doing using punch cards, right? Where you would poke holes in specific places to set and unset bits, and you would feed that into a computer, and then the computer would do stuff. Now we're like, this is like, I don't know, 70s or so. Eventually, people invented monitors, right? Those big, CRT massive things like televisions that just had lines of text. And there was a specific kind of protocol that eventually was agreed upon to power these sort of virtual terminals to basically facilitate the typing of lines of text on the screen. All right? And I lost connectivity. Oops. All right. So that was maybe 40 years ago, let's say. Since then, we've invented the mouse, the touch screen, Windows apps, all of this fun stuff. But that original lines of text on a screen has kind of stayed with us over the decades. It's the ancient wisdom that continues to power computing today. Why? Well, for one, we have a whole lot of powerful, useful utilities that people are very used to using, and you will become used to using the command line. And two, it's just easier to write something new using the command line than to write a GUI app that blah, 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 blah. So, command line is king, and it will rule your journey through this class with the exception of maybe 2 of the modules. Yeah. All right. Now, what is the command line in practice? In practice, the command line is this little line here that is waiting for a command. What is this? This is a prompt. The prompt shows me my username. Everyone's username in Pwn.college is hacker, because by the end of the semester, you'll have to register your fingers as hacking weapons to the state. No, but you will learn some cool cybersecurity hacking stuff. It tells you the host name. Usually this is the name of your computer. My laptop here is named if, right? That's cool. Your host name on Pwn.college is derived from the module and the challenge that you're running. And then it tells you where in the file system you're currently chilling. And right now we're in our home directory, which you will learn about as you go through the Linux Luminarium. And then there is this little block after the $sign says this is the end of the prompt. Then here's this little block. Little block is waiting for me to enter some input. Depending on your specific terminal implementation, it might be blinking, it might not. By the way, this is just text. The original way to interact with this was printers, line printers. You would do something and the computer would print stuff out. And then you would type stuff in your keys and the computer would like print that onto paper, and then you would end up, by the time you solved the Pwn.college challenge in the 1980s, you would end up with reams and reams of paper full of unhinged frustration and then finally the brilliant eureka moments of solving the challenge. But now we don't have to waste all that paper. We just print it out onto a screen. Now, of course, Pwn.college, the website, doesn't connect directly to my monitor. SSH is a program that connects to it, that gets a bunch of data and then spews it out into this little program that is a virtual terminal, right? And that virtual terminal receives all this data, properly formats it, outputs it to the screen, and has this little blinky guy, all right? Blinky guy says, type some text. And I might type yo, and I hit enter. And it says, yo, command not found. There's no yo command, unfortunately. That would be really cool. We should make one. But if we read this, we can see a couple of things. Actually, let's read intro to commands, right? We see there's a who am I command, very philosophical. The who am I command, you enter it in, you hit enter. I think I lost connectivity again. Oh, there we go. All right, I type it in, and what did I just do to get it to pop back up? I hit up. can hit up and down to scroll through my previous commands. All right, who am I? I am hacker. All right, say it. I am hacker. No, I'm just kidding. That would be weird and kind of cultish. Anyways, that's the user that I currently am. That's just a command. Prints out your username. Very useful to check if an exploit has worked and your root, which is the administrative user, about whom you will also learn through the Linux Luminarium. All right. Then we all go over here and we say, okay, hey, okay, now you know the who am I command. There's also, in this challenge, a hello command. And the hello command is just going to give you the flag. If you go over here, and we type hello, and we hit enter. And, oh, let me just start here. I had the wrong challenge up. Oops. All right. Created. And it's frustrating. I don't know if it's my internet being crappy or up. All right. Boom. Okay. The hello command. Type hello. Okay, great. I've executed my first command in Linux. I typed in a word into the terminal and I hit enter. And the word was interpreted by the command line, the command line shell, the program running here and printing this prompt and interpreting what I typed into it. It was interpreted as the hello command, and boom, it ran and it gave me the flag. This is sweet. Okay, so any question on the concept of commands in a command line? Awesome. All right, so for example, I can type here, give me an A in this course, please. I hit enter, and what does it say? It says, no such command give. But what about me an A in this course? Right, so just like in English, any language really, the command line has a grammar. And the grammar has parts of speech and different meanings for different words in different parts of the sentence. The first word is the command. Hello. Everything else are parameters to that command. I could type hello there. And it executes the hello command with a parameter of there. For some weird reason that no one understands and I can't actually find in the history books, command parameters are called arguments. Why are they called arguments? It doesn't make sense. An argument is something different, but whatever. It's called arguments. So in this case, I type hello, and then I type there, and there is a parameter passed to hello. Otherwise, called an argument to hello. All right. So if you go to the second level, and then here it says, okay, hey, there's something called echo, and it prints all the arguments back to you. So I say echo, and I'm having internet issues again. They're not so loaded that this is server issues, right? This is probably internet issues. All right, we're back. Echo, hello there. It prints it back to me. Now, what the hell? I thought hello was a command. So what happened here?
Because it's the second word, it's ignoring that.
Exactly, because it's the second word. Just like in English, if you put words in different places, they mean different things. Same with the command line, right? The first word, echo, is the command. After that, they're just words. They're arguments to the echo command. All the echo command does is print shit out back at you. So I say, echo hello there, and it says hello there, hello there, hello there. All right? Cool. Everything you type into this command line is just letters. Just like something you write out on a piece of paper and hand to your friend? Do people still do that?
I don't know.
Maybe you send them a note on TikTok or something. Just letters, but it's the grammar, the protocol that turns those letters into meaning. In this case, the first word is the command. It's echo. And then after that, it's just all letters. Hello, on its own, as the first word, is the hello command that gives me my flag. Echo hello just says hello. Cool. There's another command called cat. Who has a cat at home? So do I. My cat's named Porch Cat. He started out living on my porch and then basically endeared himself to the whole family, and then now kind of rules the house. But that's a tangent that has nothing to do with the Linux command line. Neither does this cat command. Cat is short for concatenate, because I can put a bunch of files here as arguments and it'll concatenate them. So if I put cat 1, 2, 3, it's going to tell me actually none of those files exist. But if I, let's look at what files are here. A lot of interesting files here. I don't know, I have a world file that apparently has the words hello in it, right? I earlier catted description.md. This is a bunch of letters. They're just letters. If I type echo /challenge/description.md, it just echoes it out. They're just letters. But the cat command knows that its arguments, it interprets its arguments as files. All right? Commands have different arguments, that they take different arguments in different ways. They treat them semantically differently. And they will, and you will learn about a lot of these different commands in the Linux Luminarium. All right, who's learning something here? All right, awesome. A couple of people, not too many, that's good. It's how we like to see it. This is definitely extreme review. This whole module is extreme review, but we just want to make sure everyone is on the same level. Okay, amazing. So, what else are we missing? Do you think that's enough for people to get started with the philosophically? And any questions for us about the command line? Is that a hand? Just chilling? The question was, does cat try to show you what's in the file? Yes. There are lots of files. There's a whole system of files. All files in Linux. Who here is more familiar with Linux than Windows? Okay, a couple of people. How about Windows more than Linux? Awesome. How about your iPhone more than all of that shit? Okay, all right, cool. So, on your iPhone and on Linux, but on your iPhone it's so deep down that you never interact with it. Unlike Windows, all your files make up a single labyrinth in which they all live. Make a pre-recorded video out of this with some very cool props. But in the meantime, if you're used to C:\\/ and D:\\/ and so on in Windows, you leave that all behind. In Linux, all roads start at /. / is the root of the file system. Under that, there's a bunch of directories, which are basically just boxes in which stuff lives. There is a /home. That is where all user data lives. /home/hacker is where all of hackers' data lives. These directories, parts of the path, they're joined with a /. And this is just boxes within boxes within boxes. And eventually there's a world file that contains the word hello. Cool. And again, these are just letters you pass to cat, and it uses them to denote a file name. If I just paste this, I'm just echoing it out. Cool? Awesome. All right, other questions? Yes? Question was, if you have to do, like you're saying, like write a program or something, should you use crazy arcane editors like VI, or should you use VS Code? Well, you should use VI, but you can use VS Code. VI harnessed the power of the early computer revolution. It captured it, and it committed it to code, and you can plug into that anytime just by running VI. Boom. Now you have the potential of computing at your fingertips. It's an amazing feeling. You can hit colon. Boom. This is like a whole new world just opened up. If you want to get out of here, you just hit colon Q and hit enter and you're gone. Of course, you can use VS Code like a nice, normal, modern person, but I'd highly recommend you to dive in and learn VI, but not at the expense of your grade or whatever. VI could take years of your life.
So I can do everything in Emacs.
Yeah, the question was, so I can do everything in Emacs. Unfortunately, I can't stop you from using Emacs. Connor won't let me.
No.
Connor fights for the students and also for Emacs. So if he was up here, and that's why I grabbed the microphone as fast as possible, he would be preaching Emacs right now. Of course, the reality is all of this is irrelevant, and everyone just uses VS Code, and the world has just kind of strayed farther into modernity. Anyways, other questions? Oh, and the VS Code. If you click Workspace up here, you click like when it pops up down here when you start a challenge. This is an instance of VS Code that we are running for you. And it is running inside your challenge environment. And if you spin up a shell, why am I in /challenge? VS Code is weird. Anyways, you can also do all of your same fun stuff right here. It's the same environment that you SSH into. It's the same environment that you pop a desktop up in here with this desktop button. Any modality you want. Yes?
So another thing I want to ask, could I get into the SSH outside of Pwn.college?
Just like what?
Can I just go in through like a bot and just log into the SSH?
Yeah, so if you notice, the question was, can you just SSH in from outside? That's basically exactly what I did. This is a root shell on my own laptop. This actual laptop, it is physically outside of the Pwn.college infrastructure. And I can do SSH, get my key that I uploaded, and do hacker at Pwn.college. And as soon as the slow internet works, boom, it's connected from the outside into the infrastructure. Cool. Any other questions? Yes?
Off topic, pretty sure you have taken this class before. I was wondering what your grade was.
What the what?
Your grade, if you have taken this class before.
If I have taken? I have never taken the class. This class. I don't know. I could probably get a solid B. Probably. It all depends on when you procrastinate, how much you procrastinate or not. My first class at ASU was 466, which, oh wait, no, you obviously didn't take 466, at least because Connor was my first TA. Ask around, ask others. What was our average grade last semester? Like what did the bell curve look like?
I would guess a B. I really don't know that.
I don't know.
Not off the top of my head.
start early.
Start early, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Go to recitation.
Okay, that's the other thing. One thing you might have missed if you didn't catch up on the Monday lecture or read the syllabus is that every day at 4:30 p.m. in BYENG 209, we have the Pwn.college Power Hour, where we have people standing by eager to help you with any challenge issues. All right, other questions? All right, so that's Linux, right? Again, let me get back to these slides. This is due, oh, we don't have the due date on it. These are both due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. And on Monday, we're going to move on to bigger and better things. So this is our kind of catch up with anything that might accidentally be missing from your earlier education. Okay, so Connor, you wanted to do some talking web?
Yeah, are you on the demo account?
I'm on the demo account. Oh, you're giving yourself? Yes. All right, don't forget to restart the chow. All right, I will try to hand the camera off to Connor. If we can do the handoff.
Oh, it works.
Ah.
It works smoothly. All right, so Jan discussed kind of some of the introduction to the first assignment. And the first assignment really does have a lot of hopefully helpful text to guide you through with the concepts. The second assignment is really orthogonal to the first assignment. The first assignment teaches you how to use the Linux command line. The second assignment talks about HTTP requests. You'll see in this course, a lot of this course has to do with the web in some way or another. The web is, pretty ubiquitous. You've all used it before. And we're going to be exploring various properties about the web and security of the web in a lot of different ways of looking at that problem. So before we start that, though, we want to make sure everyone understands the protocol that powers the web. So I am going to first start by showing, that we do have a second assignment launched. Let's see here. Eventually, there we go. And that assignment here is on Talking Web, So the first one, Linux Luminarium. Highly encourage you to start with Linux Luminarium. Then you're going to move on to Talking Web. So in Talking Web, we do have some pre-recorded lecture videos that hopefully will have this making sense. So you're kind of expected to watch these lecture videos before we begin. But in an effort to kind of make sure we're all on the same page about what the second assignment looks like, I will kind of speed run some of that content. Okay, so I am going to start up the very first challenge by hitting the start. All the challenges work the same. You go to the module, you hit the start button. You'll see that this module has a bit less text. We're going to maybe go through and update some of the text, but we do have lecture videos to watch before. I think in total it's less than an hour. If you're, really wanting to move quick, watch at 2x speed. I don't care. But the content in there will explain the concepts necessary for solving these challenges. Okay, so let's go here. We'll do the desktop, actually. Change my mind. Okay, so one of the reasons I recommend getting started first with the first assignment is because guess what? This assignment is using the command line. You will use the command line, as Jan pointed out, for almost every assignment exclusively. The reverse engineering module, you'll do a little bit less command line as when we get to that. And the networking module will also have a little bit less command line, but also command line. Command line is going to be ubiquitous in this class. Okay, so who here has ever, before this class, made a web request before? Okay, this is a trick question. Every single one of you has made a web request before. I guarantee it. I don't think you could sign up for this class without making a web request. Okay, your browser is constantly making web requests. Whether it's Google Chrome on your laptop or Safari on your iPhone or whatever, every time you're browsing the web, you go to Instagram, that is making a web request. Everything on the web is powered by these web requests, and it's relatively, actually pretty straightforward what this protocol looks like. So I'm going to open up two terminals here. Oh boy, there's like workspaces in here. Oh boy. Switch out of this. Okay, go back there. All right, here we go. What I'm going to do is show one of the programs that you're going to be using in this assignment. We don't talk about this program in the Linux Luminarium module because we can't talk about every program in the Linux Luminarium module. There's a lot of programs.
Hit tab a couple times.
Hit tab? Oh. Does that work? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see in the dojo, Pwn.college, this says display all 2,277 possibilities. There are on the dojo 2,277 programs that we could run right now. And this is just what's installed on the dojo. You can obviously write your own program, and then guess what? Now there's plus one. So there's a lot. One of the very One of the very standard programs when it comes to doing computer networking is the netcat command. So netcat, and I don't know why they like NC versus netcat, probably because it's shorter to type, and it's a very popular command, so they decided to make it shorter. I'm going to make up that that's the history of netcat. Has a whole bunch of things you can do with it. So as we learn in the Linux Luminarium, you have a new command, you want to learn about it, especially if it's a very popular command. There's going to be a man page, man nc. So this says arbitrary TCP and UDP connections and listens. If you have absolutely no idea what TCP is, that's fine. We're going to just kind of shortcut through it for now. The lecture videos talk about TCP. Eventually we'll get to the networking module and it'll discuss it way more in depth. But for now, you can kind of think of this as we have a computer over here and a computer over here, and we want them to talk together. Somehow they need to be able to talk in some way. TCP is one of the layers that enables that. And we'll see as we kind of discuss this a little bit, HTTP, the thing that powers the web, lives on top of TCP. If that's going over your head, don't worry. Just imagine we've got a pipe right now between two computers, and we're going to use netcat to connect them. Okay, so the way in netcat, and if we read the man page, we'd find that there's this -L flag to netcat. The way that we can start listening for a connection in netcat is nc space -L. The -L argument is for listen. And what we can do, we'll kind of ignore some of the fact of like what the heck is 0.0.0. This is an IP address, and specifically it's like I want to listen on all of my IP addresses. And we have a port. In HTTP, this is a TCP concept, watch the lecture videos again, we have a whole bunch of computers, right? And these computers want to talk to each other to different programs, right? You might have a computer with a bunch of programs. Each program that wants to have this network capability is going to be on its own port. And so one of these programs you might run is an HTTP server, and we're going to learn all about HTTP servers in this class. And more often than not, that program, by just convention, is running on port 80. So we are going to netcat, just kidding, we're not going to use 80 because I guess someone is already using 80. But that's not the end of the world, we'll just make up another port. Well, commonly if you see 80 is in use and you don't really care, you just switch to 80. 80 is kind of the next guy. What? Okay, we're going to switch to 4242. Okay, no one's on 4242. You'll see a program took control of that port. We'll just keep trying new ports for now because there's a demo. We don't actually care what port it's on as long as everyone knows. Yeah, there's a question. It can be any port number as long as the client that's going to now connect to this also uses that same number. So we're going to use 4242. Fortunately, I'm powering both the server and the client in this demo. So it's going to be all right because I can type in 4242 on the client side. So this right here is a server. I basically just started up the Instagram server. It's great. If I wanted to right now, I could reply to future people making requests in exactly the same way that your Instagram client is expecting responses to look. We're not going to do that because that sounds miserable, but we could. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to netcat to localhost, or maybe you've heard of 127.0.0.1, future modules and lecture materials will talk about this. This is an IP address. This is what computer do I want to talk to. And in this case, 127.0.0.1 is the special reserved thing, which means I want to talk to myself. Okay, so this probably makes sense, right? I'm on the same computer for both. I want to talk to myself. And what I can do is netcat to localhost, or 127.0.0.1, on port 4242. You may not believe it, but these two things are now talking to each other. And one kind of maybe slight inkling on that is you'll see when Jan was talking about how do commands work, normally you run a command and then you get like your hacker at hostname that comes back. If you don't have that ever come back, and this is true of all commands, if it doesn't come back, that means it's hanging. It's waiting for something, or it's running because there's a lot of stuff it has to do. Maybe I lied to you about the netcat program and it's doing like hours of computation right now. It is hanging. It turns out what it's doing is it's blocking. It's waiting for some sort of input to show up. And so we can make input show up. I need to do this in a way where I don't go onto the other workspace. There we go. I just typed in hello. Netcat will not send the input to the other computer until I hit enter. It is line-based. So if I hit enter, you see hello has shown up. This is very, very, very basic networking. And now I can say cool story, and I can say this is my response to you. And I get that. Unfortunately, the networking isn't set up in here where I could like listen on the internet and all of you could connect in and we'd have chaos. But there's no reason you couldn't do that if we didn't have firewall rules making it so. Fortunately, you can't get into your isolated container. But you could imagine that. That's the whole point. Right now, it's kind of boring because it's all on one computer. But you could be connecting from your laptop to this right now if the networking rules were set up. Currently, they're not. That's okay. So this is very basic back and forth communication. And so somehow, we're going to say it's a mystery for now, but somehow we can make it so two computers can talk to each other. As soon as I hit Control-C, do we talk about Control-C in the works?
Yeah,
it's Control-C. As soon as we hit Control-C, that's going to kill this program. And if I do that, wait, can you Control-C in the browser?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm hitting FNC. Jan's keyboard is weird. Okay, Control-C. You'll see that I basically said I'm done talking. It told the server I'm done talking, and both of them are done. We got our little terminal thing back where we have our hacker at Talking Web level 1, : I'm in my home directory, $, this crazy prompt thing that you'll see, which means, all right, we can type another command. If we want to show what happens when we make a web request, we can talk to localhost 4242. So there's a lot of ways to send a web request. You're probably most familiar with a web browser. So let's open up a web browser. Hopefully, maybe. There we go. We got Firefox. Maybe you don't use Firefox, that's okay. But it is a web browser just like any other. Okay. If I type now into this URL bar, instead of Instagram.com or YouTube.com, I instead type the very cool website domain of 127.0.0.1. And in this case, because we're not on port 80, I got to specify the port. Your web browser would assume port 80, but that's okay. We will put in :4242. Again, if you're confused, like why :4242, watch the lecture videos. We'll talk about this in more detail. If I now hit enter, look what showed up. It is not quite as readable as hello, cool story, this is my response to you, but it is something. And guess what? I can talk back to Firefox if I know the protocol. And the protocol is HTTP. And if you want to know the protocol, you're going to solve these challenges and watch the videos. Here's what I can do. Let's see if I remember. Hopefully this is going to be a disaster. I think we're good.
Looks good to me.
I'm terrified of realizing I haven't typed a response in like 6 months now. If I type http:/1.1200 OK, which is like almost like this is my response to you, but we're just getting started with my response to you. And then I type content length 10 because I'm going to send back 10 characters. And then I hit enter, and then enter, and then I say ABCD, or actually I'll say my response to you, and see what happens. Maybe that was 10 characters. Boom! Look what shows up in the browser. Not quite as cool as Instagram, but it is the first 10 letters of my response to you. And this is what this module is going to demonstrate to you. How the heck all of this works. Okay, so we just had this mildly terrifying looking request. It's really not that bad, but there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? We got this weird get space slash space HTTP 1.1 host, blah, 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 user agent, accept, all these like header things is what you'll see they are. And then we can respond. So the client sends a request, we send a response. If you want to be cool and continue on with your Linux Luminarium skills and you want to stick to the command line, guess what? There is a command line way of doing all of this. Instead of using Firefox, I can curl http://127.001.4242, and this also sends an HTTP request. And it's looking for the same type of response. So I could say HTTP 1.1 404 not found. And if I do that, well, maybe I need a content length. Either way.
Just kill the connection. There's Control D there.
Oh, yeah, I'm hitting the wrong thing. There we go, yes. You'll see we can pass more flags to curl. We're running out of time, unfortunately. But that would work. And so in this assignment, you're going to be using netcat program, man netcat, curl, man curl, and you'll also see that the third style is Python requests. All right.
All right, good luck.
Good luck.
On Monday, we move on to the next module. If you run into trouble with this, start now.
Yes,
Literally
start
now,
right now.
and show up to recitation at 4:30.
Cool. All right, how do we end the stream? Hello, goodbye, hackers. We got to end the stream.
All right. Bye, hackers. Hopefully we're. Oh yeah, we were.
Yeah.
All right.
We got to hit the stop.
Boom.